Kia ora, namaste, sasikalai, Pavan Vinay from Immigration Law Advice. Today we are in our Australia office and we are privileged that we have Rolf from EIT in our office today, and we were having a lot of discussion about the opportunities for students in Australia at EIT, and we thought let's put that something on record and maybe share with you all, which goes through you from our social media as well as from the radio show Immigration with Vinay, which telecast every fortnight. So first of all, thank you so much, Rolf. Thanks for joining us and taking the time out to come and see in our small new Australian office.
Fantastic. No, thank you for allowing me the chance to catch up. We've been friends for many years, and having worked in the New Zealand market, it's great now that you're working in the Australian market. So yeah, great to be joining hands again to work to look at students in India who want to come to Australia and study engineering.
Cool. Thank you, Rolf. I just wanted to keep the discussion very focused on, probably in the two segment, one for the students who are looking at a undergrad level, after year 12 or A level. Then of course EIT is, we know, is a specialized engineering institute. From a point of view, from an undergrad, there are various areas and streams. If you just brief on that, what as a student who are doing their year 11, 12, looking at stream in engineering, how they should go about it, and then just in brief, if you can help us out.
EIT is one of those unique higher education private providers, and I talk to you like Vinay, having spent many years in the Indian market with a range of providers, and now with a provider that is very focused on one particular stream, being engineering, and within that engineering stream on technically based programs. So we do get some undergraduates from India. We only offer 4 different disciplines: civil and structural, mechanical, electrical, and the buzzword that's coming through the industry at the moment, industrial automation, which makes up robotics, mechatronics, processing, instrumentation, mechanical, electrical. And just as a side point, India is very lucky. It's got one of the world's leading robotic companies called Delta. It's a massive company in India. It's got multiple manufacturing plants, and industrial automation is is adding to that growth within India of automation, etc. EIT has a focus on the 4 bachelors. We do get a few students from India in the bachelor area.
So Rolf, just to add that, because the big chunk of our student comes from Sri Lanka too. So is it
my apologies.
The Sri Lankan market too? Yeah.
We get a whole range of students from the subcontinent.
Yeah.
Sri Lanka is one of our growth areas. We don't get a lot of bachelor students from Sri Lanka. Our main market there is into the masters and the doctorate, because Sri Lanka's got a lot of different opportunities than what India has. For example, it's got a school over there where you can do the first year of a lot of Australian universities and get a full year of credit and go into a bachelor at the universities. We've looked at participating with ACN, the group that does that, but unfortunately, because our programs are so targeted to the technical area, any student who would do 1 year in Sri Lanka would get very limited credits to go into their bachelor. So therefore, doing a year of study in Sri Lanka, they would probably only get 2 credits into Australia. So we don't pick up a lot of students.
So this session was supposed to be divided into 2 areas, one for undergrad, one for masters. So probably what I understand is it would be more relevant for our Indian student to get into the bachelor side of
than what the Sri Lankans,
yeah. So let's get some idea about, like you were talking about, the top streams which are in demand and which lead to more career oriented and job oriented areas.
You need to have a very strong level of English, an academic level, because it is a STEM course. You need to have your A levels or your +2, and you need to have a background in STEM, your science, to be considered. Like I said, most of our students that come out of India into the bachelor level, we get a few Punjabi students, but we do get a lot from Telangana area. As you move down south, then it moves back into the higher ed, to the master's type level. because a lot of the students in the bachelor level choose to stay in India and do their bachelor there. So yes, we do get some bachelors from there. And I would say to you in your market, as you expand your group into other areas, places like Bangladesh, Bhutan, Nepal, they are good bachelor area levels as well. But if we then move into the higher education master's type level, I can talk about Sri Lanka, India, and those other countries. Because again, we only offer the 4 disciplines. It is a 2-year course. It's got an internship involved that comes with the tuition fee that comes with the course, so there's no extra cost.
So, Rolf, I'm sorry, I'm interrupting because I just wanted to, I have few things to, because what we usually get the questions around for the undergrad, that's the first part is, students who have done the year 12 or A-level or equivalent qualification, yes, if they have done the STEM, like what they call it, PCM, physics, chemistry, mathematics and all, so do you consider some students who haven't done science but they have done mathematics as a year 11, 12? Like, you know, they some streams in India, for example, they can do mathematics but not the science. Is there any way for them, or it is clear that no? We
will look at that, but normally it's got to be maths methods. Yeah, it's got to be you're right, mathematics. It's got to be maths methods. And I'd probably incorrectly use the word, science coming through, because you're right, there are some areas that do have mathematics. Physics is not so important, but every bachelor student that we consider has to have some form of mathematics at the highest level, because again, that's what engineering is based on. So yes, you pick up the right point. We can look at somebody and consider them. And again, the majority would come through that science area, but we will look at somebody with mathematics.
So, and again, other part is, I'm trying to get the answers which we get mostly the question for. Like, we get students who have done, after year 10, they have done 2-year diploma from ITIs and, some other places. Do you consider those diplomas getting into bachelor after year 10, not year 12?
We used to, and especially out of the Punjab, because you've got the 10+3 model, where they do their 10th and then they do a 3-year diploma and they do their diploma in engineering. The problem we have is, and again, I'm going to share with you my 2 views, because a 10+2 graduate hasn't had any practical experience that goes into their bachelor. So therefore, whilst academically they're strong, practically they're weak. Whereas the 10+3 student with the diploma has only got a 10th academic level, so therefore is a little bit weak in academics, but has got a practical component, which gives them a greater benefit when they go into the bachelor, like a technical bachelor like we've got. So we do consider either or, but we will probably interview these students to work out, because we've been running now for 7 years on campus. We've had a whole lot of students from India in the bachelor level, where unfortunately some of them have left because they've found it too difficult, because of either or.
So can I say that on case-by-case basis?
It is on case-by-case basis,
absolutely. If there are understood, and then just for the listeners and viewers, see, EIT is one of the top education providers, and with a very good success rate of visa from India. So far, our success rate is 100%, and it's I won't say we have done so many visas, but it is a really good outcome. And as you all know, in Australia, it's really important that the provider you're getting the offer from, and if they're accepted, their quality, the chances of getting through the visa are also better as compared to getting offer from anywhere. So now, coming back to the entry requirements, so there are students who have got the year 12, or they got like 10 plus 3 or plus 2 diploma. They do not have high academic percentile or grades, but they have work experience of 1 year or 2 years in the similar industry. Does that help to getting into a bachelor, or the experience wouldn't cover the low percentile? You know what I mean?
Yep. So that would mainly relate to a 10+2 student.
That's what I'm talking
and the good thing about the 10+2s, they've got some practical experience, which can compensate for, well, again, I'll probably give you the bottom line, as long as they've passed their 3-year diploma. Irrespective of their score, as long as they've passed, they've got the 10+3, they could be considered on a case-by-case basis. But the benefit with those type of students is their practical work that they would do during their 3-year diploma. And then we'll look at them because technically we only need the equivalency of the 10+2, year 12 entry. Unfortunately, with a 10+3 graduate, there's no credits because that's equivalent under the Australian standards to a year 12.
Absolutely.
From that point of view, can I just also touch on, you just mentioned the quality of the provider. We have Engineers Australia accreditation for both our bachelors and our masters. So there is a point for your audience to understand. That means our graduates are going to be recognised under Australia's Engineers Australia Association. We're also a self-awarding body under TEXA, so we can write our own programs and deliver them. And we're about to apply for University College designation. So that will go in hopefully in the next short while, and that will be up to TEXA to consider us as a university college, and there's only currently 10 of those in Australia. And that's the way the government can to designate you as someone a little bit different. And it comes back, look, all of my my competitors in the marketplace are the universities and the TAFEs, because technical engineering is a large investment of cost to get it set up with the labs, etc. And that's why we wanted to get into the technical side, because of the demand for engineers in the Australian industry that will be there for 5 and 10 years to come.
Thanks, Rob. Rob, my last 2 questions with regards to the undergrad is, one is your usual entry requirement. What is the entry requirement for a year 12 student? What is the expected academia part of it to get entry into a bachelor degree?
From an English language level, it's a IELTS 6.0, no band less than 5.5, academic or equivalent PTE, TOEFL, IBT. And like I said, academically, as long as they've got their +2 or their 10+2, then we will look and consider that applicant on its academics.
Cool. And my last question, but very important, is as a part of the bachelor degree, if there is any paid or unpaid internship organized by EIT, and after the course, what is the success rate of a student getting into the work? The first part is the internship, and then there's the after the course.
Part of our offering, and again, it probably needs to be noted, we offer 3-year Bachelor of Science. We don't do the traditional 4-year Bachelor of Engineering. That 3-year Bachelor of Science is driven by industry. So if you were to do an ICT course, most cases you need the 4-year with honours and a capstone project. With technically based programs, industry is telling us, please just train the student theoretically, give them a little bit of work experience, and then give them to us as a finished product, a graduate, and we'll take it from there and then teach them what they need to know. Back to your question, so as part of our commitment to the student, over the 3 years of the bachelor, they will be entitled to a 6-week internship under what is called the Work Integrated Learning, WIL unit. It must be completed either individually by the student, or they can come to us and we will assist them in getting a placement for 6 weeks into the industry.
Is it the year 3 or in the which year?
It depends on when they can get their work during the 3 years. So it wouldn't be in the first year, because that first year we're building the student the knowledge of technical engineering. Traditionally it happens during year 2 or the first semester of year 3. Or like I said, if the student can get some work, or if we've got a student after their +2 or their 10+3, they've gone and got some work in India. Now they're coming here to do their bachelor, and they've got work equivalency that could meet those work integrated learning requirements. They can also get an RPL. However, we would also say to the student, you've never worked in Australia. Use what you've done before in the Australian market and make you a better prospect for being offered a job when you graduate. But it's included in the tuition fee, so there's no extra cost.
So it will be all taken care of by EIT?
Yeah, we've got a work integrated learning officer who looks after our students to get them placed.
And how about the getting into the job after completing the degree? How is the success rate of EIT graduates? How would you?
We have a percentage that sits across both the masters and the bachelor. So if a student considers upon graduation to apply for the post-study work, about 93% of our students are lucky enough to get a job on the post-study work visa. And as you know, that, again, you're not sponsored, you're becoming partially an Australian, and you can work for 2 years. A lot of our students get that post-study work because they've done their internship with a company. And if they've done well, they've interacted with the company and the company has enjoyed their input, normally they will say to Mr Vinay, please, when you graduate, come back to us. We'd be happy to look at hiring you for a couple of years on a full-time basis. It's never a guarantee, but we also have infrastructure to assist students on how do you get a job. But again, and I'll put this in perspective, we're not a university, so we're not huge. So a lot of our students, we have a much smaller scale, but that's why a lot of our students then get taken up into these jobs, post-graduation.
And I would say 93% is a really, really high percentage of success if we talk about graduates getting into the job. So of course, I mean, it is a very, very high percentage if I compare in any industry or any school, whether it's a university, anything above 80%, I believe is a very good percentage. So a 93 is definitely a high percentage. Now, I did say two questions, but something coming in between thought about with the undergraduate students. One of the things is, of course, with the EIT has campuses in Melbourne, Perth, Brisbane, and as some of you know, and if you don't, like if you're coming and studying in a regional area which is outside Melbourne, like especially in Perth, you're going to get extra 1 year of post-study visa. And then on top of that, if you're doing a STEM program, there are some other additional opportunities. So I think most of your programs are available in Perth campuses.
Yes, so all of our bachelor, masters and doctorate are all available in Perth. Here in our Melbourne campus, where we are today, we've got the four masters, and one doctoral program. And Brisbane being a 1.5 year old campus, we have 3 masters up there at the moment. So we're limited in our programs, but we're very focused in what we deliver.
I tell you, Rolf has been very generous and underplaying, saying we are very small and all, but EIT is in itself, it's I've seen their infrastructure in Melbourne, and what I understand, Perth is even better, being the home ground,
yes,
isn't
correct,
it? Yeah. So I've seen the campus in Melbourne, it's really good and heart of the city, and not like a small little, it's a decent size campus as compared to many other campuses I have seen in Australia or New Zealand. Just the last and very important question is, we understand with EIT has a reasonably structured fee for the international student if we compare with other big giants, and but I understand there might be some sort of scholarships also still. Is there anything for the undergraduate which for subcontinent market student can look for, and what is the requirement for that?
And look, I'm going to include the masters with the undergrad here because we have a one set fee for either domestic or international students, which is $12,925 a semester. So you're averaging about $25,000 per year. So your 3-year bachelor is $77,000 approximately, and your 2-year master is about $53,000. So again, without comparing it to the universities, and again, we sit separately to the universities, and our colleagues there, we understand while they're a bit more expensive because they've got much larger disciplines and much larger infrastructure, and that's always been the case, and they're government owned. We've been very selective with the 4 courses we've chosen. Back to your question, we have a range of scholarships. So if I touch on one, we have a Women in Engineering bursary. So we have any female who applies to us, and whatever course they apply for, they can get a bursary, a financial bursary, and they will get a mentorship with one of our female academics in their discipline. And that will be for the life of their course. We then move into academic scholarships.
So what is that bursary? How much is
It's
that?
10% for the life of the course on any one of our programs for a female.
Okay.
And they also get the mentorship program we've got 57% of our academics are females. Whereas we've pushed this in India many, many times, there's not enough females coming into the industry. So the more we can push, and most of my colleagues in the universities also have women engineering scholarships and bursaries. But then on the other side, we have a range of academic scholarships that are either we've got our Dean's Scholarship, we've got an academic scholarship that's in there. We do have an industrial automation scholarship bursary, which is specifically promoting that industrial automation program because it's quite new. It's only been around for a year. And what I would encourage people is to do is go onto the website, type in the word scholarship into the little chaser box, and they'll show you the full range of what we have.
No, thank you so much, Rolf. See, we're gonna close this discussion for undergraduate now, and we will keep the master thing on a separate session just to keep the duration to the reasonable for our episodes, and we'll be talking to Rolf about the master degree in our next section. Thank you.
Thank you all.